News is important. It serves as the backbone of our society, providing us with the information we need to make informed decisions. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, news is a constant presence in our lives, shaping our understanding of the world around us. It tells us what's going on in the world. Whether it's a natural disaster on the other side of the globe or a local community event, news keeps us connected to the broader human experience. It bridges the gap between different cultures and societies, fostering a sense of global citizenship. It informs our opinions and decisions. The news we consume influences our thoughts, our conversations, and ultimately our actions. It helps us navigate the complexities of modern life, providing context and clarity in an often chaotic world. It helps us understand complex issues. Through in-depth analysis and expert commentary, news media breaks down intricate topics, making them accessible to the general public. This understanding is crucial for a well-informed citizenry. In a democracy, the news media acts as a watchdog, holding those in power accountable. It shines a light on corruption and abuse of power, ensuring that leaders are answerable to the people they serve. This role is fundamental to the health of any democratic society. When politicians lie, journalists investigate. They dig deep to uncover the truth, providing the public with the facts they need to hold their leaders accountable. This investigative work is often challenging and dangerous, but it is essential for maintaining transparency and trust in our institutions. When corporations mislead, reporters uncover the truth. They expose unethical practices and bring attention to issues that might otherwise go unnoticed. This vigilance helps protect consumers and ensures that businesses operate with integrity. This is why we call the news media the fourth pillar of democracy. It serves as an independent check on power, separate from the government, judiciary, and legislature. Its role is to inform, educate, and empower the public. It's a vital part of a healthy society. Without a free and independent press, democracy cannot function effectively. The news media provides a platform for diverse voices and perspectives, fostering dialogue and understanding. But news is more than just facts. It's about storytelling, context, and interpretation. The way news is presented can shape our perceptions and influence our beliefs. This is why ethical journalism is so important. It shapes how we see the world. The stories that are told, the images that are shown, and the voices that are heard all contribute to our understanding of reality. News media has the power to highlight important issues and bring about social change. The way stories are told, the voices that are amplified, these choices matter. They can influence public opinion and drive the national conversation. This is why diversity in newsrooms and inclusive reporting are crucial for a balanced and fair representation of society. News can influence public opinion on everything from elections to climate change. It can shape policy decisions and impact the direction of our society. The media's role in informing the public about critical issues cannot be overstated. It can expose injustice and spark movements for change. By shining a light on social issues and giving a voice to the marginalized, news media can drive progress and inspire action. It has the power to mobilize communities and create lasting impact. That's why it's crucial that our news is accurate, fair, and independent. Ethical journalism is the cornerstone of a functioning democracy. It ensures that the public is well informed and that the truth prevails. In an age of misinformation, the integrity of the news media is more important than ever. In today's fast-paced world, the news is our window to what's happening around us. But what happens when that window is fogged up? When the information we rely on is tainted by bias, spin, or even outright falsehoods? It's a troubling reality that we must navigate carefully. Unfortunately, news isn't always perfect. It can be biased. Bias in news can manifest in many ways, from the choice of stories covered to the language used in reporting. Sometimes it's subtle, like the omission of certain facts, and other times it's glaringly obvious. This means presenting information in a way that favors a particular viewpoint. Different news outlets might cover the same event but present it in completely different lights, depending on their editorial stance or the audience they cater to. Sometimes news outlets are influenced by their owners or advertisers. These influences can shape the news agenda, pushing certain narratives while downplaying or ignoring others. The quest for ratings and revenue can sometimes overshadow the commitment to unbiased reporting. This can lead to stories being buried or slanted to please those with money and power. Investigative journalism can suffer, and the public may be left in the dark about important issues that don't align with the interests of powerful stakeholders. And then there's the big one: fake news. Fake news is not just biased, it's completely fabricated. It's designed to deceive, often for political gain or financial profit. Deliberately false information designed to mislead and manipulate. These stories can be incredibly convincing, using sensational headlines and doctored images to capture attention and spread misinformation. It spreads like wildfire online, often disguised as legitimate news. Social media platforms can amplify these falsehoods, making it difficult for users to distinguish between real and fake news. This flood of misinformation makes it hard to know what to trust. With so much conflicting information, people can become overwhelmed and disillusioned, unsure of where to turn for the truth. It sows division and undermines public faith in institutions. When people can't agree on basic facts, it becomes nearly impossible to have constructive discussions or make collective decisions. This is a serious problem. The erosion of trust in the media can have far-reaching consequences, affecting everything from public health to democratic processes. We need to be able to rely on the news to give us accurate information. Fact-checking and journalistic integrity are more important than ever in this age of information overload. Otherwise, we can't make informed decisions about our lives and our society. A well-informed public is the cornerstone of a healthy democracy, and it's up to all of us to seek out and support reliable sources of news. So what does ideal news media look like? It's a question that has been asked countless times, especially in an era where misinformation is rampant and trust in media is often questioned. It's about truth, transparency, and trust. These are the pillars that uphold the integrity of journalism and ensure that the public receives accurate and reliable information. Firstly, it's about being factual. This means reporting on events accurately and honestly, even when it's uncomfortable or goes against popular opinion. This means reporting on events accurately and honestly, even when it's uncomfortable. Journalists must strive to present the facts as they are, without distortion or bias. It also means being transparent about sources and methods. Transparency builds trust and allows the audience to understand the process behind the news. Tell your audience where you got your information and how you came to your conclusions. This openness helps to demystify the newsmaking process and fosters a more informed public. This allows people to assess the credibility of the news for themselves. When the audience knows the sources and methods, they can better judge the reliability of the information presented. Finally, ideal news media is independent. Independence is crucial for unbiased reporting and for holding those in power accountable. It should be free from government control, corporate influence, or any other undue pressure. This freedom ensures that journalists can pursue the truth without fear of repercussions. Journalists should be free to report on issues without fear of censorship or retribution. This freedom is essential for a healthy democracy. This independence is essential for holding power to account and ensuring that the public is well informed. Without it, the very foundation of a free and fair society is at risk. Shining examples: BBC and ProPublica. Thankfully, there are examples of news organisations striving for this ideal. Take the BBC, for instance. It's a public service broadcaster funded by the British public. This means it's not beholden to advertisers or political parties. The BBC has a long history of impartial reporting and is trusted by millions around the world. Then there's ProPublica, a non-profit investigative journalism organisation. They focus on holding powerful institutions accountable. Funded by donations, they produce in-depth reporting on issues like criminal justice, government corruption, and environmental abuses. These are just two examples, but they demonstrate that high-quality, independent journalism is achievable. Who pays for the news? Now, let's talk about money. Producing quality journalism is expensive. Reporters need to be paid, investigations need funding, and technology isn't cheap. The traditional advertising-based model is struggling in the digital age. This has led to news deserts, where communities lack access to reliable local news. So how do we fund good journalism? There are several models: subscription services, where readers pay for access to content; philanthropic funding, where individuals or foundations support journalism as a public good; public funding, like the BBC model, where the government provides financial support while maintaining editorial independence; Each model has its pros and cons, but the key is finding sustainable ways to fund journalism without compromising its integrity. Fighting fact-checking in the digital age. Now let's address the elephant in the room: misinformation. In the age of social media, anyone can publish anything. This has led to an explosion of fake news, propaganda, and conspiracy theories. It's more important than ever to be media literate. This means being able to critically evaluate information, identify bias, and verify sources. Fact-checking websites play a vital role in debunking false information. These organizations are dedicated to verifying the accuracy of claims made online and in the media. They use rigorous research methods to separate fact from fiction and hold those who spread misinformation accountable. Media models that work. Looking beyond our borders, we can learn from countries with successful media models. Take Finland, for example. It consistently ranks highly in press freedom indexes. Finland has a strong public broadcasting system and supports a diverse media landscape. It also prioritizes media literacy education, teaching people from a young age how to critically evaluate information. This approach has created a well-informed public that is resilient to misinformation. Finland shows that investing in quality journalism and media literacy is essential for a healthy democracy. The journalist's responsibility. Ultimately, the responsibility for ethical journalism lies with journalists themselves. They must commit to truth, accuracy, and fairness. Journalists should strive to minimize harm and avoid conflicts of interest. They should be transparent about their methods and open to scrutiny. Adhering to ethical guidelines is crucial for maintaining public trust. When journalists violate these principles, it damages the credibility of the entire profession. Our role in supporting good news. We all have a role to play in supporting good journalism. As citizens, we can be critical consumers of news. We can support reputable news organizations, financially or through engagement. We can hold our elected officials accountable for protecting press freedom and combating misinformation. The quest for ideal news media is an ongoing one. It requires collaboration between governments, journalists, and the public. By working together, we can create a media landscape that informs, empowers, and strengthens our democracy.